Okay, next topic is bank reconciliation. So bank reconciliation is an action you do, a process you do at the end of every month for every bank account that your company has, in order to make sure that the bank account in the system is synchronized with the bank in your actual bank account. Because there will be times where mm, they're out of sync, such as when you make a transfer, a bank transfer, you document it, the transaction down in the system, but the bank takes a few working days to process it. So during the time in between, there's a bit of a disconnect. Or let's say it can be simply be due to mistakes such as if you made a bank transfer in your for your actual bank, but you forgot to document it in SAM, or the opposite. Let's say you document in SAM, you forget to do the transfer in person, or let's say there's any duplicate or any missing. All these things can cause the system bank to be out of sync with your actual bank. That's why every month, as part of the closing, we go through it to make sure all the transactions, all the withdrawals and deposits that happen in your actual bank and in the system's document entry are being reconciled. So the module you need to be at is adjustment, closings, and then bank reconciliation. So just to make sure, if let's say you are behind time lah, on your bank reconciliations, make sure you do month by month, starting from the latest missing one. And if let's say you need to close your year end, so you need to close your financial year before you are able to finish the bank recons, make sure you just create empty bank recons, one for each month, even if they're not completed, even if they're not green, just have them there as a placeholder before you do your closing lah. Then you consult your auditor, your accountant afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to go through some examples. These are examples are made by me lah. Okay, so you may see a bit of weird actions that you won't actually happen in real life because for these examples I don't actually have a real bank recon and a bank statement all to do, so I have to create my own examples. So just to give you some context lah as to why it may look a bit strange, and also I need to simulate some mistakes in order for you to see the errors that happen and how to respond accordingly lah when you encounter each error. Okay, so let's go through the correct one first. Let's go through the normal one first. So my last recon, let's say for example, was December 2022. So my next one is going to be January 2023 for this bank account. So what I need to do is I have my bank statement by my side or on my screen for January 2023. And then I just need to do one thing first. I see the balance at the bottom and I key it in. And balance being 900. Okay, I key it in. Now I click generate. This will make system generate all the transactions involving this bank account inside this month. So system sees that okay, I made $100 withdrawal from this bank account. Um, as per payment voucher 01. So now what I need to do is I check my bank statement. I see has this transaction been of $100 been presented on the bank statement. It has. So what I do is I click post, and also maybe on my soft copy bank statement or something, I strike it off just to know that that has been presented. So what this happens is it brings this from the unpresented tab to the presented tab. So it's still there for your reference. If you have a mistake, simply click the minus button again to unpost it. To post it back, click on the plus button. Okay, so by the calculation over here, based on your previously reconciled balance, this month's total deposit and total withdrawals that were reconciled in the bank statement, it should give you your reconciled balance in the system. Okay, and if it matches the balance in your bank statement, then you're good to go. There is zero difference, it's all green, and you can be pretty sure that your bank statement, your bank is reconciled. The only rare occasion whereby this can be a false safety is it's actually same as when you're doing opening the balance like that. There can be the equal amount of wrong on both sides that can cause the balance to still look like it's correct. So in this case, it is can be uh, a mistake of equal proportions on the deposit side and the withdrawal side. So for example, I have a duplicate deposit of $1,000 and a duplicate deposit withdrawal of $1,000. Um, Both together are going to make the difference look okay, but the only way to tell the mistake is you can see the deposit here is and the withdrawal here. You check it together with your bank statement. At the bottom of it, alongside the balance, you should see reconcile deposit, reconcile withdrawal. Compare that to the system, make sure it's correct. Yeah, this is just to prevent the rare occasion where deposit and withdrawal are different, but their differences in the system are the same. So the same difference on both sides make it so that neutralize each other and make it so that like it's not off balance. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, long story short, when it's green here, you can click add. Okay, so we go on to next month. So I'm just going to go through this because it's going to be seemingly uneventful for now until we can discuss about the mistakes. So February, my recon says, my statement says I have 700 in the bank and one transaction. So I generate. I see the bank statement does have a withdrawal of $200 and it's for this company. Okay, I add. And let's say I do the same for March. Okay, so these 3 months we go smoothly, but now I'm gonna showcase some mistakes lah. Okay, so to do that, I'm gonna have to redo certain recons. So let's delete this March one, delete February one. Okay, so let's say in February, my okay, let's say in February, my bank statement still says 900, and it doesn't show any withdrawal, any deposit, or any transactions. Although in the system I do see one, I see a withdrawal of 200. But if I check this payment voucher, maybe it was made close to the end of the month, and not enough time for the bank to process and this transfer before the statement is released. So perhaps this one will be included in the next month's statement. So no problem. As long as everything else is in place, I simply leave it be. I enter the bank statement as is. I present everything that's presented. I leave unpresented everything that was not, and then I add. So bear in mind here, this withdrawal of 200 is under the unpresented tab of February. Now when I go to March, I see that my balance is now 400. So I put in 400, I generate, and I do indeed see the two transactions inside March statement, and one of which is the $200 withdrawal from the previous month of February. It has now been presented in March, so no problem. I present them both. As long as it's zero, I can add. But now, if I were to go back to February, back when this withdrawal of 200 was not yet presented, even though it was inside February, it is now gray. And what I notice here is on the last column, there's a recon date. So the recon date is in the future. It is actually in March, even though this document is in February. So, I mean, you guys already see what happened, lah, which is that at the point of time in February, this was not reconciled because this was not yet presented on the February bank statement. It was presented on the March bank statement, and that's when it was reconciled. Yeah. So if you go back to February to see, it's still going to be unpresented because it is unpresented as of February. But you can see there's a recon date. It was presented as of March. So if you see a row that is gray in color, it doesn't matter. It's okay. As long as it was done correctly, lah. It's not a cause for alarm. However, something that is cause for concern, regardless of what case, is going to be if a row is red. Okay, so if something is red, something is wrong. So let's just create one example to showcase that. So let's see here. This in payment voucher number 3, it's already been created, presented. But let's go and change it. So I'm going to change the amount to 299. Yeah, I don't know. I happily go and do next month's recon, or maybe someone else is doing it. I can see inside unpresented, there's a red row. Once again, similarly to the gray row, there is a recon date, but this one should be in the past. Okay, this doesn't mean that it's recon in the past. It means it was recon in the past and it has since changed. Okay, so something has changed. One of two things has changed. Lah. Number one is the amount, the transaction amount changed, even in the slightest. Number two is the date has changed, and not just a slight bit. It has to be changed to the point where it is no longer in the same month it was reconciled at. So therefore, it's no longer in the part of that month's reconciliation. Therefore, it's red. Yeah. So this can only mean one of two things, lah. Yeah. Number one, the person who itchy hand go and change this document is made a mistake. They shouldn't have changed the document. It was already reconciled nicely already. The person maybe made a mistake lah, in changing the document and amending the number, the amount or the date. So the action for that will be to go and re-edit the document and correct the mistake. So what happens then is that everything becomes okay again over here. But let's say if this change is correct, the person was doing the company a favor. Let's say there's the initially the amount was wrong and now it's been corrected, but this caused a bank reconciliation to be incorrect here. Then that can only mean one other thing. The person who did the bank reconciliation was made a mistake because why did they present a transaction of 300 in the system when it was not, no such transaction was shown on the bank statement, because obviously the amount is different. So yeah, if that is the case, right, we find out the amount is different because of that. We're going to do it like this. We go back to the month which it was reconciled. We go to presenter, we unpresent it, and then we represent it. So now it will be reconciled with the new updated amount that was written inside the document. And that's bank recon for you.